Hey guys, I'm Kinsey from North Carolina, and I have a condition called OCD. That means I worry nonstop about all kinds of things. Like, I have to wipe my desk chair 8 times before I can sit on it. I also count my socks 6 times each night to make sure I have enough pairs for the next day. Before I continue, please like and subscribe. Living with my condition was tough and a bit lonely. I was an only child in a super rich family, but our servants were my only friends because everyone at school thought I was a freak. One time, I was sitting in class next to a girl who kept staring at me. "What are you doing with your colored pencils?" "Duh, I'm organizing them so they all face the same way." "You've organized them like 50 times. What are you, a robot?" Everyone started laughing, except this one boy named Blake. After class, he gave me some chocolates to cheer me up. "Don't let those mean kids make you feel bad. You're pretty, you're funny, and you're the best speller in our whole class." He was a sweetheart. After that day, Blake and I became really close. And as time passed, I really started falling for him. But anytime I decided to tell him how I felt, I chickened out. But one day in 10th grade, there was an announcement for the school dance, and my heart raced. I wasn't letting this chance go. Today, I'd ask him out. At lunchtime, I caught Blake sitting alone, but my heart dropped when a gorgeous girl walked over to Blake and put her arms around him. No! "Hey, dude, what's going on? Is this your cousin or something?"
Nope, this is my new girlfriend who just asked me to the dance. Isn't that awesome?
Wow, so awesome. Sorry, I gotta go. The air is making my eyes water. Allergies. I couldn't believe I'd missed my chance. And now Blake has a stupid girlfriend. I was watching MSA videos that night when I came across a story about a girl who got married 9 times just to get revenge on her sister. That's when I got an idea. The only way to get over Blake was to date as many guys as possible. So I texted every boy I knew. I was a gorgeous goddess with extra clean hair. Surely at least one boy would want me. But I woke up to see my phone had blown up with messages from 16 guys. And when I walked into school, a swarm of boys circled me with flower bouquets and even a life-size teddy bear. That's when Blake came up to see me.
These guys are going crazy. Did that dude just throw rose petals at you?
Oh, that one's been wanting to go to the dance with me. Yep, while you were with your girlfriend, I decided to get myself 16 dates.
You can't go on 16 dates. That's crazy.
Oh, yes, I can. You just watch. I walked away like a queen and couldn't help notice Blake looked kind of upset. Well, I was glad. He had chosen someone else, and that was his loss. I set up my dates in a row that whole week. 1 at a bowling alley, 1 at an escape room, and 1 at a skating rink. But I realized I didn't like a single guy I went out with. One night, I was stuck at a restaurant with the most annoying guy on earth. "What's your favorite flavor bubblegum? Do you like surfing? Why are you wearing rubber gloves while you eat?" I hate bubblegum and swimming in the ocean. And again, I have OCD and don't like touching silverware at public restaurants. Just then, our waiter came by and he looked around my age.
"Excuse me, miss. You have an emergency call."
I jumped up right away and the waiter led me to a counter. Did anyone die? Is my mom sick or worse? They canceled MSA, my favorite channel.
Oh, I just made up the emergency call. You just seemed miserable on that date, and I wanted to save you.
Oh my God, you're amazing. Thank you. No, you're the worst. You made me think my mom was sick.
So, how about I make it up to you after my shift ends? We can go to the park. I have a thing for girls with turquoise gloves.
I laughed and immediately agreed to hang out with the guy after his shift. I found out his name was Indigo, and he actually lived close by to me.
Actually, I'm homeschooled, so I come here a lot. I don't have a ton of friends.
Well, now you have one. From that day on, Indigo and I started hanging out a lot. I had made a commitment to go on every one of my dates. My mission wasn't complete, so every time I'd go on a bad date at his restaurant, Indigo would come up with some excuse to rescue me, and we had the best time laughing over it. Then one day, Blake and I decided to catch up over coffee.
How come you and Indigo hang out so much? I thought you were busy dating 16 guys.
Now I'm down to 9 guys. I still haven't found anyone yet, but whatever. Indigo's my friend, and I really like him.
Oh, so you like him. Didn't you say he doesn't have any friends? That doesn't seem a little off to you or anything.
There isn't anything off about him. Why can't you just be happy that I made a new friend? He's the only person besides you who doesn't think I'm a weirdo.
I am happy for you. Why wouldn't I be happy? I just don't want you getting hurt since you obviously like him.
God, what a drama queen. But the more I hung out with Indigo, I wondered if Blake was onto something. Indigo was lovely, but he also never invited me to his house or told me much about himself. One night, Indigo and I were sitting by the lake, and I decided to ask him about it.
I don't tell people about my life. It's too complicated.
Well, I don't like hanging out with people who keep secrets.
Fine, I'll hang out by myself then.
At that second, Indigo ran into the lake and went underwater with his clothes on. What are you doing? The lake is polluted. You don't know what's inside it. I'm going home.
Just put your feet in. It feels nice. And remember, you can always take 100 showers after. Do you trust me, Kinsey?
I was about to tell Indigo no freaking way, but then I noticed his warm brown eyes and that he was holding his arms out to me. I held his hands tight as I dipped my feet into the water. Oh my God, I'm doing it! I'm amazing! Indigo, this is a really big deal for me.
Well, I'm honored to be by your side during such a big moment in your life.
Indigo smiled at me, and suddenly, I pulled him close and kissed him. I felt my heart race like never before. I fell asleep thinking about Indigo that night. I could still feel his lips. But the next day, I heard a knock on my window, and it was Blake. Blake, what are you doing here?
Kinsey, I'm in love with you. I've been in love with you for years, but I never had the guts to tell you. That's why I got a girlfriend, but I ended things between us. You're the only one I want to be with.
I couldn't speak. My head was spinning. I'd wanted to hear those words for so long.
So, do you love me back? Can you squeeze in a 10th guy to date?
Before I could reply, there was another knock at my window, and it was Indigo.
Well, I understand everything now. Indigo is the guy you love. I came over because I never heard back from you after we kissed. Is it because you're in love with him?
Oh God, oh God. I sat on my bed and both boys sat on either side of me. Okay, it's true. I like both of you, but I don't know who I like more, and I don't want to hurt anyone.
Fine then. There's only one way to settle this. You cancel the rest of your 9 dates and date both of us for a few weeks, and then decide who you want to be with.
Indigo agreed, and suddenly, the two of them were arguing about where they'd take me and what gifts they'd buy. I kicked them both out so I could go to sleep and take a frickin' bubble bath. But I agreed to their date plan since it was probably the best course of action. Blake was first and invited me over to his house for a candlelit dinner. He was even wearing a suit and playing romantic music.
I thought the two of us could have a slow dance before we ate.
I actually would love that. Blake pulled me close and my heart fluttered. Even with everything that had happened, I did still love him. But then suddenly, Blake pulled away.
What happened to your hands, Kinsey? They're not peeling or red anymore. They look normal.
I've been washing my hands a little less. Still a lot, but not 30 times a day. Oh, you wouldn't believe what Indigo made me do the other day. I told Blake about how I dipped my feet into the lake, and he looked really surprised.
That's really big for you, isn't it? I'm glad. Anyway, let's have dinner. I had all your favorites made.
The next evening, Indigo took me out to see the symphony, and later we went out for a moonlit walk. We ended up roaming the streets for 2 hours because I wanted to count 333 lampposts, and Indigo was more than happy to oblige. The next couple of weeks were a whirlwind of romantic dates, but making my decision wasn't getting any easier. Blake was the boy I'd always loved, but Indigo had left his mark in a short time, and now I couldn't imagine not having him in my life. A few days later, I was having a picnic with Indigo when he turned to me looking serious.
Kinsey, it's about time I told you the truth. The reason I'm homeschooled and why I don't have any friends is because I have a serious illness and I'm in and out of the hospital a lot. And I never ask you to come over because my parents are really overprotective and they fuss over me a lot. I didn't want to freak you out with all that.
Wow, Indigo, that sounds tough.
It's not been too bad, just something I have to live with.
But things will change once you get the surgery in 2 days. Indigo turned to me in shock as I clapped my hands over my mouth. Oh God, how did I let this slip?
I was about to tell you about my surgery. How do you already know? Wait a second. Did you pay for it? Because my mom told me that just this morning that some anonymous donor had decided to fund my surgery. Kinsey, is that you?
Okay, please don't be mad. I once saw you taking your meds secretly, and I just wanted to know what was going on with you. So I went to your house and met your mom. She told me everything. I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to be nosy. It's just because I care.
I can't accept such a big favor from you.
It's not a favor, and you don't have a choice. I know your illness is more serious than you're letting on. You have to do this. You're running out of time.
Okay, you're right. I can't thank you enough, Kinsey.
Save your speeches for later. You just focus on the surgery now and getting well really soon. The day of the surgery, I reached the hospital an hour before, and I was going to Indigo's room when Blake appeared. I'm so glad you're here, Blake. God, I'm so dumb. I nearly told Indigo everything the other day.
But he doesn't know that I paid for half of the surgery, right? You did what?
Blake and I turned around to see Indigo in a wheelchair, ready to be taken to the operating room. Listen, Indigo.
Are you kidding me? Your lover BFF took pity on me and chipped in too? What am I, some charity project that he used to win you over? No, dude, it's not like that. Save it, Blake. Lucky for you that you're rich enough to pull off such grand gestures. You helped save my life and come off as the hero, so of course she'll choose you. And I'll just end up feeling like a total loser. I'm calling it off. I'm not getting the surgery. And Kinsey, you're better off with Blake anyway, so choose him already and let's get this over with.
With that, Indigo stormed off. I have to go and convince him. He needs this.
Let me try once, okay? Indigo, don't be stupid and come back inside. Please, just leave me alone. No, I won't. And that's because I really care about Kinsey and you're the right guy for her. Over the last few weeks, I've seen how much Kinsey has changed. She seems lighter and more comfortable with herself. I've been her friend since we were kids, but I haven't had the same impact on her that you have. She's different because of you, and I just really want my best friend to be happy. So I told her days ago that I was gonna step aside, and I helped pay for the surgery because I want you to be healthy. So do it for yourself and do it for her.
We all waited anxiously for hours, and finally the surgeon stepped out of the operating room with a smile.
The heart transplant went really well, and we're expecting a full recovery. Congratulations.
The next day, when I could finally see Indigo, I went up to him and hugged him gently. I'm so glad you're doing well, Indigo.
And it's all because of you. I have a new heart now to love you even more with. I love you, Kinsey.
I love you too.
Rachel, come play hide and seek with us. Hey, Rachel, do you want to come and hang out at my house after school?
Can I play with you guys?
Ew, Candace, no way!
Rachel laughed and waltzed away with her friends. I didn't get it. Why was Rachel so popular? She was always so mean to me.
Hi, my name is Candace, and I'm from Texas. If there's one thing you should know about Texas, it's that it's full of some really cute guys. Just like the game, 𝗕𝗔𝗦𝗬𝗘𝗦. This mobile game is full of romance, mystery, and awesome detective thinking. If you haven't heard of 𝗕𝗔𝗦𝗬𝗘𝗦, they have just released a new Dreams of Childhood event, full of new cards and new stories to unravel. You don't want to miss out on this. 𝗕𝗔𝗦𝗬𝗘𝗦 was created by 𝗕𝗘𝗑𝗪verse, the same people behind Genshin Impact, which means you can trust me when I say it's top-notch quality. I love the detective features in the game because it actually tests your thinking skills and is really smart about it, unlike other mystery games. You can talk to characters in the game and collect evidence from 3D crime scenes. After you've carefully selected your evidence, you then go to court where you fight for your case. It's so fun! And on top of that, it features a storyline with 4 really handsome and sweet guys. You can take part in individual stories, messages, video calls, and interactive games. So if you love romance, this game is for you.
Psst, my favorite is Marius. Isn't he adorable?
With the new Dreams of Childhood event, the game's beautiful SSR cards were released on October 11th, so you're gonna want to download the app right away through the link in the description below to get a peek at these beauties. Look at this one, with my fave character, Marius.
でも目の前にある未来なら、一つだけ確かなことが言えるよ。
While you're at it, make sure you follow the game's social media accounts for more info. Thank you, 𝗕𝗔𝗦𝗬𝗘𝗦, for sponsoring this video. And now, back to my story.
Growing up, I was always just average. I wasn't pretty, I wasn't super smart, I wasn't popular. I was the opposite of my neighbor Rachel. Everyone loved her. One time the whole class was at a birthday party. Rachel had told me the day before that it was a dress-up party, so I had begged my mom to buy me this Harley Quinn outfit. I arrived at the party, but to my horror, not a single person was in fancy dress. I was the only one.
Oh, look who's here! Is that supposed to be Harley Quinn? More like hardly a queen.
Everyone laughed at me. It wasn't even a good joke. I was ready to leave the party right away, but then another girl rushed in and stood between me and the crowd of laughing kids.
You leave her alone! I think she looks great.
I was in awe. Who was this girl? She was so brave. I could never stand up to all those kids like that.
Ew! Harley Quinn has a girlfriend!
The whole crowd made kissing noises and laughed even louder, but I didn't care. The girl turned to me.
Are you okay?
I am. Thank you for standing up for me.
It's about time someone stood up to that Cruella.
What's your name?
Tammy. And you?
I'm Candace.
Nice to meet you. Do you want to be friends?
I was taken aback. Not only was she brave, she was confident too. Sure. From that day forth, Tammy and I became best friends. Life was good. Sure, Rachel was basically Medusa reincarnated, but with Tammy by my side, I could handle Rachel's taunts. But then one day my life got thrown off course. It all started in 10th grade. I walked into the classroom and made my way through the chatting students. I sat at the back of the class like usual, trying to avoid drawing any attention to myself. Unfortunately, Rachel noticed me when I walked in.
Oi! Hermione!
Huh?
Seriously, a Gryffindor sweater? Harry Potter was so 10 years ago. It hurts my eyes. Ha! Nice one, Rachel.
I cowered in my seat. Rachel was about to say something else when suddenly the door burst open. We all turned to the doorway, curious who was making such a grand entrance. Suddenly, in walked this guy. He looked so cool. He had on a leather jacket and he had tattoos on his neck. There was also something else about him. Something mysterious.
Who is that? I don't know, but he's super cute.
The guy swept his gaze across the room. I could literally hear all the girls sigh in adoration. I couldn't blame them. Immediately, Rachel zoomed forward.
Hey there, hot stuff. I'm Rachel. I sort of run things around here.
The guy just ignored her, moving forward. Was it just me, or was he looking right at me?
Listen, do you want to come sit next to me? Trust me, not every guy gets this opportunity.
The dude brushed past her and suddenly he was standing right in front of me.
Hey.
I was speechless. Was he speaking to me?
I like your sweater.
He was speaking to me. Thank you.
What's your name?
Candace.
Hey, Candace. I'm Josh. Let's chat more at lunch.
Josh winked and moved off to his seat at the back corner of the classroom. All the girls were staring daggers at me. All right, what just happened? After class, I immediately ran to find Tammy. We had a secret spot that we always met at during break to escape Rachel. I approached the janitor's closet and knocked using our special code.
Who's the hottest character in Harry Potter?
Professor Lupin.
You may enter.
As soon as Tammy opened the door, I rushed in and shut it behind me. Dude, something crazy just happened.
What?
A guy actually talked to me in class. I think he was flirting with me.
What? Give me all the details.
Well, he complimented my Gryffindor sweater.
Makes sense. That sweater is awesome.
And he asked me what my name was.
Oh, total flirty play.
And he winked at me.
OMG! Girl, you gotta make a move. What's his name?
Josh. Tammy's face fell.
Oh no. Oh no, 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 no.
What's wrong?
Candace! That's my new stepbrother!
My jaw dropped. What? That's him?
Yes! Oh, please, Candace. You have to promise me. Don't do anything with him. Don't date him. Don't kiss him. Please, please don't. I do not want my best friend dating my stepbrother. It's just... gross.
But...
Candace, please. If you value our friendship, then don't date him.
Okay, Tammy, I won't. Fries over guys.
I don't really like fries, but sure.
The next day, as I was walking to school, I got a message from Tanny.
Sorry, bestie. I got hit with a nasty cold. Skipping school today. Tell Miss Johnson for me.
Well, that's just great. Now I had to spend the whole school day on my own like a true loner. I was busy texting Tammy back when I ran into someone. Oh, sorry about that. I looked up, then immediately felt my body freeze. It was Rachel.
Watch where you're going, catfish.
That was Rachel's nickname for me. I hated it.
Oh, yeah. And by the way...
Rachel and her friend stepped closer.
If you ever think you have a chance with that hotshot Josh, think again. He would never want to date a loser like you.
And he would never date a stuck-up prizzy like you. I winced as my voice cracked. I couldn't help it. I was getting teary.
Oh my god! Now the baby's crying! Did the little baby get get her feelings hurt.
I backed away and took off in the opposite direction. I headed towards the bleachers and hid beneath them. This was my private spot that not even Tammy knew. I always came here whenever I needed a break. After wiping away my tears, I pulled out a book from my bag. It was Harry Potter, The Chamber of Secrets. I had already read this book like 10 times, but I always liked to read it to calm me down. I was just getting to the part where Harry realizes who the real culprit behind the killings is, when suddenly, I felt a shadow fall over me. I looked up.
Relax, it's just me. It's Josh.
I knew that. That's exactly why I screamed. Josh sat down beside me. I eyed him warily.
Why are you here by yourself?
Tammy's sick.
Oh yeah, I heard. She's my stepsister, you know.
I nodded. I know. We sat in silence for a bit. It was so awkward.
What book are you reading?
I sighed. Listen, Josh, you don't have to be friendly to me just because you feel sorry for me. I'm fine, really.
I don't feel sorry for you.
Then why are you talking to me?
Because I think you're cute, and you seem really cool too.
Okay, what? The hottest boy at school just called me cute? This had to be a dream. But then I remembered Tammy's words. She made me promise not to do anything with Josh. I had to break this up. Quick. I gotta go.
Can we hang out again sometime? I'd really like to get to know you.
I don't know. And before he could say anything else, I ran off. The next class was gym, and I groaned in horror when I realized we were playing dodgeball. I hated dodgeball. Rachel and her friends always aimed for me. Usually, I was out within 3 seconds. But this time, when the coach blew his whistle, the unexpected happened. Rachel and her friends aimed for me as usual. But then suddenly, a figure appeared in front of me and blocked all their throws, shielding me. I looked up. Josh?
Hey, Candace.
More balls were launched at us, but Josh blocked them all with his own dodgeball, like some kind of god.
Everyone, in for Candace!
Give me your best shot.
They all readied and threw the dodgeballs right at me. Suddenly, I felt my feet lift the ground as Josh grabbed me in his arms and we sped across the room, escaping all their balls. Finally, we skidded to a stop once they had run out of balls.
Stay here, Candace. I won't be 2 minutes.
Josh turned around and grinned.
Now it's my turn.
He lifted the dodgeballs and pelted them at the opposing team. They went down like bowling pins, one after another. No one could dodge his throws, and at the end, our team had won.
Wow, Josh, you're amazing! So strong. Do you work out?
But Josh ignored all the girls' compliments and approached me.
Candace, let's hang out after school. I'm thinking I'd take you to a nice sushi restaurant. What do you say?
All the girls looked at me in anger. I knew what they were thinking. Why was Josh infatuated with me, of all people? He had all the prettiest and most popular girls in class fawning over him. Gotta go.
But...
I disappeared quickly. I had to keep my promise to Tammy. Later after school, I called Tammy. Tammy, you won't believe what happened today.
Wait, don't tell me. Come over right now.
But aren't you sick?
Huh?
You said you had a cold.
Oh yeah, I was just lying about that. The final episode for Stranger Things came out today and I couldn't miss it.
Oh, Tammy. Later, I arrived at her house and Tammy dragged me to her room.
Okay, what's the tea?
Suddenly, Tammy held her nose.
Okay, hold up. Take your smelly clothes off.
I was still wearing my gym clothes. I took my shirt off, so I was just wearing my sports bra. It's Josh. He was obsessed with me today.
Okay, Candace, no need to exaggerate.
No, I mean it. He kept trying to talk to me, and today in gym, he was like my bodyguard during dodgeball, and suddenly someone knocked on the door and opened it. You wouldn't believe who was there. Josh!
Hey, Tammy, do you have a...
Josh froze. I was only wearing my sports bra. He went as red as a tomato.
I'm sorry.
Josh slammed the door shut, and we heard his footsteps as he ran away. Oh, God.
Candace, please don't tell me something's going on between you.
No, nothing's going on.
Because if you broke our promise, our friendship will be over.
I know that. Tammy looked at me suspiciously.
Okay, so what was it you were saying about Josh?
Nothing.
Okay. Hey, do you want to watch Stranger Things with me?
I nodded numbly. I couldn't tell Tammy about what happened with Josh. She might suspect I was breaking my promise. But I wasn't. It was just Josh. I don't understand any of it. Why did he like me? The next day, Tammy came to school. At break, we headed over to the janitor's closet like usual. But to our surprise, the janitor was actually in there.
Get lost, you hooligans.
Sorry.
We ran off and hid behind the lockers.
Where do we go now?
I know a spot, but don't tell anyone.
Who would I tell?
I led Tammy over to my hiding place beneath the bleachers, but when we got there, I received the shock of my life. Josh was there, and he was speaking to Rachel.
Come on, Josh. You know you want me.
Actually, no, I don't want you. I came here looking for Candace.
But why? She's such a loser. She's obsessed with books
And she's smart and kind, and she's nothing like you.
What's that supposed to mean?
I think you know.
Suddenly, Rachel spotted me and Tammy, and she smirked.
Oh, Josh. Come here.
Rachel leaned forwards and forced her lips onto Josh. He shoved her away.
Ugh, Rachel, what are you doing?
Oh, be quiet, Joshy. You know you liked it.
No, I did not.
Rachel smirked and winked at me.
Who are you winking at?
Josh turned and looked at me, his eyes widened.
Candace, nothing happened between us.
I don't care.
Please, Candace.
Just stay away from me, okay? I turned and ran off. I shouldn't care, but seeing Rachel kiss Josh really tore at my heart. And I knew Josh was messing with me or something. There was no way he would prefer me over Rachel, right? I ran out into the field into the middle of a soccer game.
Oi, watch it, chick.
Candace, wait.
Just leave me alone.
No.
Why?
Because I care about you.
I stopped running, then turned around. Why do you care about me?
Why is the sky blue?
Josh.
It's because of me.
We turned. Tammy was there. Tammy?
I'm sorry, Candace. I haven't been completely honest with you.
What are you talking about?
I asked Josh to try and get with you. I said I'd pay him $1,000 if he got you to go on a date with him by the end of the month.
My heart shattered. What? Why?
Because I wanted to test you, Candace. You may not know it, but you're beautiful. And I knew that eventually you would find a guy and you would leave me alone. I don't want to be alone. I needed to make sure you were a true friend. So I asked Josh to test you.
I was heartbroken. You betrayed me.
No, Candace, please.
And you!
Candace,
How could you go along with these lies?
It's not like that. Please, Candace.
Save it. I turned on my heel and ran. I ran all the way across the field, out onto the busy street beside the school grounds. I took one step, but suddenly a car was there. I heard Tammy scream. I couldn't move. The car zoomed closer and closer. Then suddenly someone shoved me out of harm's way, and I turned too late to see Josh there. Luckily, he dodged the car, but he tripped and hurt his ankle.
Ah!
Josh! I called the ambulance and they arrived a few minutes later.
I want you to know, Candace, it's true Tammy paid me at first to do all this. But once I got to know you, I really like you, Candace. I could care less about the money now. I hope we can hang out for real when I get out of the hospital.
He seemed sincere. I smiled and kissed him on the forehead. He looked like he was on cloud 9. I watched as the medics boarded him in the ambulance and took him away.
Candace.
Oh, Tammy, I don't know if I can trust you now.
I'm so sorry.
Tammy collapsed at my feet.
I really didn't want to lose my best friend. I was so scared.
But what makes you think you could ever lose me?
Rachel said...
How could you let that devil Rachel get in your head? You'll never lose me, Tammy. We're best friends for life, remember?
I'm so sorry. Can you forgive me?
I pulled her into a tight hug. Of course I forgive you.